On the side of blue, Mason C. On the side of orange, it is a Mason versus Mason mirror matchup. Tesnos in the corner. Drop down shot. I don't give a bother with the save. Joey just realized I can't say Mason anymore. I have to clarify which Mason in this game. A speckled penny for Mason Orange. Oh, Mason Orange doesn't sound good either because they're green and gold, you know? I'll figure it out. JK picking up the save for Mason A. Onto the side wall, Tesnos for Mason A, looking to be patient. No you, looking to drop it down. I don't give a bother looking for that clearance. Can't get enough power onto it. He plays back around. JK will pick it up to Mason A. Special Penny will win that challenge, but not able to hold on to possession. Ball bounces back towards midfield. A shot from Mason C turned aside. The amount of bragging rights that will come from this game before the students go into camp on campus there at the Fairfax campus will be intense.
Yeah, some good bragging rights on this one, as well as the standing, John. We're getting closer and closer to playoffs for the MAEC. While George Mason A is pretty heavily up there with their nice 4-0 lead right now, George Mason C could definitely use the win if they can pull it off.
How about we make a wager for these teams, even though they have no say over it? JK picks up another save on Special Penny. Let's say the losing team has to buy the winning team a meal at Southside. How about that?
I like it. I don't know if they would quite agree, but just a
meal plan, baby, meal plan. Let's go. JK looking to rotate on the ball, can't get there, but Tesnos in that sweet, sweet band, unable to connect with the ball. C10 on the side wall off the ceiling.
Yeah, I believe that's a vehicle change as well. I don't remember Tesnos running that. In fact, I think GMUA in general is running a few different vehicle changes. As C10 gets a beautiful shot off, hits it off that post, and then eventually finds the net. 1-0 GMUA in the lead. 2:44 left to go here in game one.
And the clearance from Mason C couldn't go, and it's a beautiful tough angle shot. C10 using that back post to the advantage there to angle it in. Definitely a pretty shot to open up the scoring here. Mason A just before the halfway mark, opening the scoring up. Mason C will look for a way to counter.
Yeah, some good credit to GMUC as well, though, here, John. The fact that they've been able to hold this goal total down to 1 just halfway through game one. GMUA being one of the highest scoring teams so far in the conference this year. They've been able to pour on goals, and it feels like pour on shots in general. GMUC really turning them the other way. They do let another one through here from C10 to make it 2-0 GMUA, but overall, GMUC's defense has been pretty strong compared to what we've seen other teams utilize up against GMUA so far in the conference.
And Tesnos forcing the turnover on the side wall, setting C10 up for goal number 2 here in game one for Mason A. That's just taking advantage of those small mistakes where you have to capitalize because, again, you've gone up against this team multiple times. You know what Mason C is capable of doing. So it feels like you have to capitalize on any kind of mistake that they give you. C10 to the side wall. I don't give a bother looking to get the shot off. It's no you instead for Mason C and cuts the lead in half. It's 2-1, under 2 to go. Mason C finally on the board.
Yeah, C10 losing a little bit of control there. No you picking it up, a little pass back and forth from GMUC, and eventually ends up in front of No you. Takes the shot, and now the lead cut in half. 2-1 GMUA still in the lead. 1:54 left to go here in game one.
And right off the face-off, maybe a miscue there for Mason C. But Tesnos in that sweet minivan. Go ahead and poke that in. Corner pocket makes it 3-1 for Mason A.
Yeah, I think that was I don't give a bother playing that ball a little bit too far to the right as GMUA and Tesnos is able to come in there and slide it a little bit farther to their right, going right around them and finding that kickoff goal. Something rarely we see here in the MAEC, but GMUA finding one here.
1:45 to go here in game one. On the side wall looking for C10. Shot off the crossbar from Speckled Penny. No you looking to pick it up in the corner once again, challenged by Tesnos. Big frame to get around. And that man C10 through midfield. Tesnos going up. That is a mobile minivan, and Tesnos on the board. 4-1 Mason A.
Mobile minivan. C10 getting that initial clearance out of there, sending it the opposite way, and Tesnos finding the end of it. A wide open goal there, 4-1 GMUA in the lead, up by 3, 124 left to go in game 1.
With the advantage off the face-off, Tesnos looking for that centering feed. Don't give a bother. Be patient, but that patience may have backfired. Speckle Penny gets the clearance. Tesnos will play it back in. Corner, Mason A still putting that pressure on. I don't give a bother looking for the clearance. JK pick it up and do a side foot towards goal. Speckle Penny will intercept. Sends it away. 10 back to defensive end. Speckle Penny with the centering feed. Cleared by Tesnos. Back through midfield, finds C10. Dancing in the air off the backboard. The near post shot won't go. I don't give a bother. Picks up the save. All three players for Mason C in the corner looking for that clearance. JK will play it back in. Plays it high. Rolls down. JK, perfectly timed attack. Makes it 5-1 for Mason A.
This is just straight up a finesse right here. Off the corner, beautiful flip, keeping with that wall, and then just slides barely under. GMUC with a slight opportunity to kick that one out, but C10 there to secure it. 5-1 GMUA in the lead, 30 seconds left to go.
Up by 4, Mason A has to feel pretty good about this one. Penny gets another save. No U into the corner. C10 picking up the save. C trying to find any kind of momentum to take into game 2 with them. Being down by 4 with just over 5 seconds to go. Not much they can do here, but still a lot to take away from game 1 if you're Mason C. More than just the score of 5-1 as Mason A takes the series lead 1-0 against Mason C.
Yeah, GMUC held them pretty long there. It was about halfway through the game before that first goal was scored for the side of GMUA. So great defense coming out there from GMUC. But let's talk about the van, John. The van that we saw Tesnos bring out, 44 cars contacted with it. So all over the place, almost playing it like a tank in general, just finding ways to obstruct play, to knock people off. Whether you get the demo or not, just knocking into another player's car can be a complete difference on an attacking play. So far, working out well for GMUA.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, flying cars is crazy enough, but a flying minivan, that's terrifying, especially if Tesnos is behind the wheel, just flying all over the place with that massive body. And it's really working to Tesnos' advantage. We saw that hitbox, that obscure hitbox was not an issue for Tesnos, and it really paid off several times during that game. We'll see if Tesnos breaks that out here in game 2 for Mason A. We head back in game 2 of this series. In game 1, 5-1 in favor of Mason A. Mason C had some life, had some opportunities as well. Mason A just pouring it on and starting here early. The C10 scoring once again. It's Mason A on top, 1-0.
Tesnos going up, dropping it down, and then C10 with the cross-face shot off the side of his car, just finding its way into the net. GMUC had a few opportunities there to possibly clear it out, but it just came so quickly. That shot from GMUA, finding that first goal just 20 seconds into game 2.
On the sidewall, JK will stop the ball and play it up in the air. Looks to clear it over. I don't give a bother towards midfield. Runs out of boost, but still gets the clearance. But No U will intercept the ball, put it back on frame, off the post, and tapped in by No U. And that 1-goal lead has evaporated in seconds. All even at 1 apiece.
Yeah, great shot here from No U, taking it off that crossbar and then eventually finding the rebound to put it back on frame. 1-1, things all tied up here. GMUC finding the equalizer that they struggled to find there in game 1, finding it a lot earlier here, just 40 seconds into the game.
Brazilian plays it down, JK or GMUA. Will go on the attack, gets it on frame and in, and JK has restored the 1-goal lead. For GMUA, 4:10 to go. It's been 50 seconds in, and we already have 3 goals on the board.
T10 with the nice layoff to his teammate JK. No one in front of JK. That was just smooth sailing from there on out, eventually finding the goal in the end. 2-1, just 50 seconds into this game, John. Seeing a lot of goals get scored a lot quicker than we did in game 1, and GMUA capitalizing with the 1-goal lead.
Something you don't see too often, an opening face demo as both players went to go play for the rebound, end up having a head-on collision. Nobody touched the ball for a few seconds. But now it's under 4 minutes to go. Mason still holding on to that lead. Tesnos in that mobile minivan. Along that side wall, No You trying to pick it up for Mason C. Played in deep and in. It's I don't give a bother. They are trading goals back and forth. It's all tied at 2 apiece.
Yeah, nice off-the-wall pass there. I don't give a bother. Finding the end of it with some nice little aerial play. Just putting it over the heads of GMUA. No one able to fly up. Maybe they were a little low on boost. Maybe a little low on timing as GMUC finds that equalizer. 3:35 left to go here in game 2. All tied up 2-2.
And it's Tesnos in the mobile minivan. Just taking advantage. It's now GMUA 3, GMUC 2 at the 3:33 mark.
Tesnos with the redirect there. 2C10, C10 back to Tesnos, and in the end, teamwork makes the dream work. GMUA finds their third goal, up by 1, 3:30 left to go here in game 2.
So you look for the centering lead. Strong defensive challenge from Mason A. C10 picks it up off the side wall, has JK, will play it into the corner. Father looking for the clearance, but it's Tesnos in that van, challenging once again. The play up and around, it's going to drop down in front of the goal, but No You will clear it out. Hit the pass, JK will get the clearance. GMUC looking to even this game up, under 3 minutes to go here in game 2. 10 off the backboard. Strong off the backboard. Now Speckle Penny midfield will play it down. So I don't give a bother. Back of the net, 2:44, all even at 3.
I don't give a bother. Finding the shot, finding the necessary angle. Speckle Penny, though, with a great aerial play there initially to set that ball right in front of I don't give a bother to make that shot possible. 3-3, 2:44 left. Everyone all tied up. I don't want to say GMUA is breaking down a bit, but GMUC finding ways, finding cracks in the armor, and finding ways to get shots off in general here in game 2 compared to what we saw there in game 1.
Absolutely. All tied up as we hit the halfway mark here of game 2. Anybody's game. GMUA being pushed by their counterparts GMUC. C10 on the side wall, challenged by Speckle Penny. Joey, I have to ask the question, if GMUC somehow pulls off this series win, do they become GMUA?
I mean, we're still a little early to call a series victory here. Let's take it one game at a time. Right now, they find themselves down by a game. They are tied up here in game 2, but GMUA still has 2 minutes left to work with, potentially trying to lead back in this one. While GMUC rather could do the same, so we'll have to see how game 2 goes before we call the series done. But overall, GMUC really competing very well up against their A team.
I don't really bother looking for that clearance. JK comes flying, will play back and looking for C10. Get a shot on target. Tesnos keeps back in. It's going to drop down in front of goal. JK off the crossbar. Ball up. Whoa, back. Now looking to go the other way. It's Mason C. No You on the sidewall. Play it back in. JK applying the pressure. C10 going up in the air. Looking to set up Tesnos. Looking to drop it in. And a beautiful save from Speckle Penny. Keeps this one all even. Now looking to go the other way. Speckle Penny. The centering feed. A beautiful chance. And it's JK with the clearance. Mason C means business. And they are not afraid of Mason A. Applying that pressure. Hit the 1 minute mark here in game 2. Still all even at 3 apiece. JK, the centering feed. C10 is there. Mason A retakes the lead 4-3 with under 60 seconds to go.
JK going aerial, taking it off the ball, getting that second tap, and a beautiful pass angle on that tap. Nice little one-touch to his teammate, putting it in the back of the net in the end. GMUA now up by 1. Still a minute to work with here for GMUC to equalize. So far, every goal we've seen GMUA score, we've ended up seeing GMUC match it about 20 or so seconds later. We'll see if they can do it again here to tie things back up.
Add on to that lead. They don't feel comfortable with the 1-goal lead. Tesnos to follow up. Won't get it to go. Don't blame GMUA for wanting to score another one. The way this game has gone, GMUC is just moments away from possibly tying it. JK GMUA on the side wall, back through midfield. The opposite side of the wall. C10 will pick it up. Challenged by Speckle Penny into the corner. 10 seconds to go here in game 2. Mason C down by 1. I don't give a bother. We'll send it in. Tesnos. Turning around to the side. Speckle Penny looking for the target. Won't get it to go. And Mason A in a very close back and forth game 2 will squeak out the game 2 win, and they go up in the series 2-0 over GMUC.
Yeah, GMUA with the series lead of 2-0, but John, GMUC bringing it in that matchup. Game 1 was I would say a little one-sided, pretty one-sided in favor of GMUA. Game 2 here, though, back and forth. It seemed like GMUC met every single goal that was scored by GMUA up until the end. That final minute, they couldn't find the equalizer they were looking for, so GMUA squeaks out with the victory. But GMUC really bringing it to their older brother or sister org over there within GMU.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're GMUA, you have to kind of be scratching your head here a little bit. It's like, how do we go from a dominant game 1 to a back and forth game 2 that, you know, the last lead of the game came under 60 seconds. You know, we had 3 goals within the first minute. We had 6 goals total at the 1 minute mark, 7 goals in total to end game 2. It almost feels like that George Mason C, if they're going to win a game, I mean, obviously it's going to have to be in game 3 because they're going to get eliminated if they don't, but it feels like the pressure's now on George Mason A to try to close this out because Mason C is starting to come online and they're looking very good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we might have had a little bit of a substitution here as it looks like Elite has come in for the side of GMUA. So they did get that 4th player some time as well, but now Elite back into the lineup. We'll see if that ends up making much of a difference here for GMUA in game 3.
C10 looking to open the score, and Speckled Penny flying in from the end. Will keep that ball out, and the score will remain even at 0-0. I don't give a bother. We'll play the ball into the corner. GMUC feeling very confident after a very close game 2 loss. And if you're a believer in moral victories, that was definitely a moral victory, especially after how game 1 ended. But C10 striking first once again. I believe that is all 3 games so far. It's been C10 striking first for George Mason A.
As C10 striking first once again and moving closer and closer to that 10 goal total rather over the course of the series. GMUA finding first blood. Took about a minute to get it done, so GMUC not bad defense overall early on here. Again, Elite coming in will be a difference maker as GMUC is going to have to adapt the play style a little bit to what he brings to the table, but we'll have to see how it all plays out here as we do see shots continuing to come out from the side of GMUA. GMUC continues to defend well so far though.
Under 4 minutes to go, Testos ball into the corner. Speckle Penny will get absolutely demolished. I don't think Ball's being patient trying to play the ball back through, but it's Elite putting the pressure on into the corner. Ball trying to be played up through the side wall. They'll finally get the clearance, and GMUC looks to go on the attack. We will pick it up and play it back towards midfield. Speckle Penny is in the back waiting to get the clearance. Looks to put it on frame. Played into the corner. Off the backboard. Nothing gets Speckle Penny. Sends a shot too high. The follow-up slams into the post. GMUC just inches away from keeping this one up. No, the shot. It's the other post as well. Speckle Penny now going up, looking to tuck it under the crossbar. Can't get it to go. Elite is there. Mason A struggling to get the ball out of their defensive end. Mason C just applying the pressure. Tesnos looking to play it back towards midfield. No is there. The drop shot in, and C10 back in time with the epic save. Plays it into the corner.
Yeah, once again, a pretty tight game coming out here. GMUC able to get some shots similar to what we saw in game 2. They're able to kind of fight back a little bit up against this A side. Only 1 goal scored so far, almost 3 minutes through.
Follow up the drop down. Elite can't get it low enough. It's above the crossbar. Again, back into the corner. Not in the power play center in deep, but GMUC might try to help him out. Elite was there looking for the pickoff. Off over to the side wall. Penny going up, and Teslos gets there first. On target, so I don't give a ball. It has to make a play. No you, the clearance might be on frame. Is it going to drop down? It will. It tucks in under the crossbar, and MAEC has pulled it back at 1 apiece with 1:38 to go.
I don't know if this was intended as a shot or intended as a pass off that crossbar, but either way, finding the upper 90 there in the top right corner of that goal, that one slides through and it gives GMUC a tiebreaker share of this lead. 1:38 left to go here in game 3. Everything tied up 1-1.
Buck 30 to go, all even at 1. All bouncing back towards GMUC's defensive end, looking for that clearance. A looking to close this game out. And the series as well, just over 60 seconds to do it. Esso's playing the ball back to C7. Penny with the clearance. Looking to go on to the attack ball. Bouncing back towards midfield. I don't gonna bother to play it in. The shot looking to go back post. C10 was there with the save. You looking to pick up control of the ball. Beats one defender, plays him to the corner. C10 will intercept. I don't give a bother trying to clear the ball out once again. Elite will play it back down. Tesnos' shot will come up short. The follow-up off the crossbar. It's on the goal line, and Speckled Penny with a spectacular save with 30 seconds to go. Keeps this one even at 1.
A spectacular save's one way to put it. It looked like everyone was flailing around in front of that goal. GMUA trying to find the goal, not able to. In the end, GMUC finds the clearance, then eventually takes it all the way to the other end. No you getting the job done. Nice little play here, and then popping it right on frame towards goal. No one able to find the defense. Tesnos with the van, not quite big enough as GMUC takes the lead. 2-1, 17 seconds left to go here in game 3.
You know, sometimes flopping like a fish on the goal line isn't good enough to get the ball out. Flailing or not, get out of the goal, and now they have the lead, and they're 8 seconds away from claiming the Game 3 victory. GMUA might be dropping a game here to the lower team, and they will as GMUC picks up the Game 3 win. Another close one, 2-1 for GMUC. We're heading over to a Game 4, and if you're the C team, you have to feel pretty good about taking one on your big brother A team over there.
Absolutely, and I'm feeling pretty good too. You and I predicting a 3-1 in this series, and it very well looks like it could be that way. But as we've gone from game 1 to game 2 to game 3, similar to the first series of the night, GMUC getting better and better. They competed well in game 2, then eventually took a win here in game 3. So nothing's really written as far as game 4 goes. If GMUC continues on this momentum, GMUA could have a tough time closing this one out.
Yeah, a tough one to close it out too. But also when you think about it, if GMUC is able to play the 4-0, and by a lot of people's standards, the best team right now in this league, GMUA like this, that's got to be scary. GMUC sitting at 1-2 in that 4-way tie. You know, that's kind of a big deal. Like if they're able to do this to GMUA, I feel like they're putting the league on notice here a little bit.
And a little bit last week as well, they ended up coming out in that 5-game series and finding the win. This GMUC team is no slouch. They're a strong team overall. Now, part of this in particular, they're both from GMU. They might scrim one another, so they might have a little bit, not inside information, but practice against one another and might know the style a little bit better than some of the other teams throughout the league. With that being said, GMUC looking good mechanically as well, finding ways to get shots. And again, regardless if you play them or not, GMUA is still one of the best teams so far in the conference.
Over 30 seconds played here in game 4. No score as of yet. See if GMUC can take that momentum and even the series up, or will George Mason A close it out here? JK looks to open it up, and it's Elite with the goal secure for George Mason's A team. 4:10 to go. Mason A's up 1-0.
Big play there. Nice little shot on target. Elite securing that one in the end. Not sure if that tap was needed, but hey, it's a goal either way. GMUA now in the lead, just 50 seconds into game 4 here, 1-0.
Elite looking to play the ball over to JK through midfield, looking for Elite. Covering a beautiful boom play. No you with the save. Elite going up on defense will play it into the corner. Smart play. Ball rolling around, C10 will pick it up and send it over to the crossbar to look for the clearance. Rebel coming out. JK hard off the backboard. We'll get it to go. C10 is there. Last defender to beat. Tucks it in under the crossbar. What a performance by C10, making it 2-0 for Mason A.
Yeah, a little bang-bang there in the air as well as JK gets sent the opposite direction. C10 able to pop it over the head of No U to find that goal, though GMUA now in the lead 2-0. Just under a minute so far into this game, so GMUC still has plenty of time to answer. But so far, GMUA being the team getting more shots and eventually getting more goals.
And JK will follow it up. Goal number 3 for George Mason's A team at the 3:33 mark. So far, so good for Mason A as they look to close the series out.
Absolutely. GMUA turning it on when they need to. They dropped that game 3, but they have come back into game 4 with a vengeance, Sean. So far, being that team, getting the majority of shots, getting the majority of the goals, as we see here on the scoreboard. GMUC having a tough time finding an answer here in game 4.
On the side wall, cleared out by Speckled Penny. GMUC looking to find the magic that they had the last 2 games. So far, Mason A has rediscovered, I should say, their game 1 form. C10 gets the clearance off the goal line. That's JK looking for the centering feed. Elite shot, big save from I Don't Give a Bother. Keeping it at a 3-goal deficit for now. Ball going the other way. Speckled Penny beats the last defender. GMUC's back on the board. Cuts the lead to 2. 2:48 remaining. And Mason C starting to come back.
A very necessary goal coming out there from GMUC. I Don't Give a Bother getting it out just before C10 was able to make his way over there. GMUC eventually finding that goal, cutting that lead, still down by 2, 2:48 left to go and to work with here, up against big brother GMUA, who's been on fire so far in game 4. But as we've seen throughout the series, GMUC has answered, and we could see one coming out here as this game progresses.
JK plays the ball into the corner. The defensive end now going on the attack as C10. Looking for that centering feed, just not enough. Elite. Ball will drop in front of the goal. No U on the sidewall, can't hold on to it. JK will tuck it under. Looking for the clearance back through midfield. Elite, great rotation, will play it back in. Mason A starting to put that pressure on. JK into the corner. Try to play off the backboard, but strong defense from Mason C wouldn't let it happen. 10 going up off the side wall, the centering feed, No U will pick it off. Back through midfield, it's Elite. Back and forth between both Mason teams. Mason C is looking for a way to try to even this game up, down by 2, 1:40 to go in game 4.
Yeah, this ball is spending a lot of time in the midfield as this game progresses on. Almost a full minute for that midfield as it finally gets a little bit of time into a final third. This time up GMUA as GMUC looks still on the aggression here.
JK with the rolling save. OU looking to tuck it in. Near post won't get it to go. Elite with the clearance. Has numbers there, but strong clearance from GMUC. It's on frame. C10's trying to get there. Last second touch will send it wide. Ball into the corner. Going in the air, can't get right angle on the ball to drop it down and in. Under a minute to go. Mason C backs against the wall. A big save from C10. Mason C throwing everything at Mason A's goal. Mason A is responding. Now it's JK. Challenged mid-air by I Don't Give a Bother. Speckled Penny now coming in. She puts it on target and in. It is a 1-goal game with 40 seconds to go, and Mason C just 1 goal away from possibly tying this game up.
Absolutely, and GMUA missing the big ban of test nose as 2 goals going through here from the side of GMUC. Not really too much contention on either one from the side of GMUA. They still hold the lead. 40 seconds left to go, but GMUC finding answers here and there, and they have 40 seconds to find another.
Outbound there, No U. Maybe a little too patient there on the clearance. 30 seconds to go. Elite picks it up on the side wall, looking to drop it down towards the goal. Plays it near post. No U will play it back into the corner. Not out of danger yet. Tries to tuck it in back post and will. It's C10 extending the lead back to 2 for Mason A.
I swear there's not a single player better than C10 in this whole league at playing that right above the crossbar. Some players really good at finding rebounds off of it, but C10 kisses so close to that crossbar and finds ways to just drop it into that goal where the goalkeeper just has no angle to clear it out. Another beautiful one coming out there. 4-2, up by 2, 15 seconds left for GMUC to find 2 quick answers.
All plays into the corner. I don't give a bother. Under 10 seconds to go. Not enough time for Mason C, as Mason A will take the series 3-1. And the Battle of Braddock Road belongs to George Mason and their